All right. All right, all right. I'm late. I'm late. I was supposed to be streaming this 4 hours ago, but it's okay. I'm always late sometimes with the One Piece reading. It's fine. It's okay. But I might just start reading right now. I'm not gonna delay. I'll start reading it right now. Hold on. Check like one or two more things. All right, all right. So yeah, this new chapter. I only seen a couple spoilers, by the way. I'm gonna say that. I only seen a couple, and I don't even remember exact. Oh yeah, I do. Never mind. I was about to lie. So I was right about Harold. I guess he didn't get Domi reversed. I don't know, but he does get possessed. He was forced to put down the summoning circle. They made him put the summoning circle down. Yep. But let's read this, okay? So we got what's his name? Hachan. Yep, we got Hachan with the takoyaki shirt on. Okay. And he got some black sheep making him gloves. Reader request: a family of sheep knitting Hachan 6 gloves. Okay. Anyway. So the same year from last chapter, I guess, when Mary Joie was attacked and the Giants got put into the military, Harold got like, yeah, let's see what happens though. Let's see what happens. This is the same year, 15 years ago, around the world. And we got people on the island. They said they're saying those Giants in the Navy played a crucial role again. That's so great to hear. I used to think they were scary. Now I wish I could meet one someday. You see the Giants' reputation changing and shit. Okay. People liking Giants when we get this dude cooking, this cook dude. I don't know why all these people like happy in the background. There's a lot of people cheering, a lot of hearts in the background. They're looking at the Giants on the news. I don't know. He says, is there any way to get more shipped here? Folks can't get enough of that ELBAPH seafood. He said, yeah, I bet. This dude, he said, good, Cedar. It's quality stuff. Oh, good. Wait, is that what he said? Good ELBAPH Cedar. Okay, it's quality stuff. Too bad it's hard to ship. I think we've seen that dude before. This ugly dude with this dude in the top left right here. This guy, I think we've seen him before. Pretty sure. I think we might have seen that chef before too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know who he is, but I feel like we could have seen him. But anyway, back in ELBAPH, the new world. So they cheering for Harold. Damn, that sword has been there way before Loki was like even born. I thought that was Loki's sword, low key. I mean, no pun intended. I thought that was Loki's sword, the one that's sticking out of the tree in ELBAPH. But that shit is there. It's been there this whole time. So like, it was probably an ancient giant. They used to hold that shit. But we back in ELBAPH, the new world. They cheering for Harold. I guess it's him talking. He said, once again, our dream of being part of the world government comes true. I think that we should build a cruise ship so we can travel freely to our fellow nations. He's trying to go on a cruise. He's trying to go on a cruise, like actual luxury cruise around the world with the giants and shit. Like, he said, to the rest of the world, we are just a very curious minority. There are so many different peoples in so many different countries. They each have cultures worthy of respect. And as we come into contact with them, ELBAPH will gain more friends and more wisdom. They all cheering for him. He trying it, man. He trying it. We all know how that shit ends, though, right? He is trying. Like I've been saying, Rocks told him. He knew from the beginning, bro. They're not going. What did Rocks tell him earlier? He said they're just gonna turn you and your people into slaves. Okay, now let me just keep reading here. We're gonna see what happens at the end of this chapter. Okay, so he says, we're almost there, my countrymen. Our future is bright. And we got this warrior sitting there. He said, guess the warrior's business is dead. You don't want to do that no more. Okay. And then we got Harold. He said, yeah, I'll see through it, Ada. That's his promise. He trying to do the whole peace thing. Okay. The Walrus School. Kids playing. You got Harold and Saul. He said, this is thanks to you, Saul. Saul said, a lot more healthy. What? Why'd they write it like that? A lot more healthy in kids swinging swords. What? Okay, I see what they're doing. Okay. Like, he's talking like, you know, with the ultimate slang. He said a lot more healthy than kids swinging swords. So I prefer the kids healthy than to be swinging swords. He said, don't it scare you thinking about what you're losing, Harold? He said, I no longer think of military might as our national strength. Ada taught me everything I know. The fact that I met her is my lifelong treasure. And we see her grave. Damn. Yep. Okay. Back at the flashback. Hey, Harold. Okay, it's Ada and Harold. She said, you really changed. When I first came here, I was terrified of all the civil wars. She said, but you've changed this country bit by bit. Children studying hard, bright and cheerful laughter. It's like a different country completely. He said, old practices, strange customs. We ought to throw all the bad habits out of our warrior past. She says, really? But I like the warrior's pride. I think it's cool. You ought to treasure your culture. He said, well, what about the fact that you and I weren't allowed to marry? I've never gotten over that. Okay. She laughed. Oh, yeah, she's still sick. This right. She about to die right now. She's sick, laughing and coughing. She said, you told them you wanted to make me your wife, didn't you? That's so sweet of you. You're my big sweetie. What about Loki? She's like, oh, what about Loki, though? Like, if I'm your true wife and I'm not his real mother, what happens to Loki? Right? You know, Loki's real mother, you know, she on the throne and all that, you know. He said, he'll be Howard's little brother. How's that? Okay. And she said, yeah, to me, he's always been that. And they laughing. She said, just hearing that from you will keep me fed for months. But really, I don't mind. You're everyone's king, Harold, not just mine. He said, we're almost there, aren't we? No, that's her. She said, we're almost there, aren't we? He said, that's right, Ada. Very soon. We'll be connected to the rest of the world, and our world will grow to be millions of times larger than before. Then we'll do what we used to do and go traveling together. She said, that sounds fantastic. I can't wait. Neither can I. Damn. Damn. The hand dropped. He grabbed her hand and drop it. All the power just left her arm. It's a wrap. Nah, yeah, it's a wrap. That's why he said, nah, I'm going to get this dream to happen no matter what now. So Harold is a fool, right? Well, I'm going to talk about that later. Hold on. Well, I can say it now, right? Harold is a fool. I'll say it later too, but Harold is a fool. A lot of people are ragging on him, calling him stupid. But you got to remember, bro, like he was kind of in a position where he kind of can't, go back on this. What type of person would he be if he went back on all this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he let Rox die. He just promised her on her deathbed. He got to do this shit now, He has to do it. And everybody crying over her. Harold crying. Howard went inside the cabin with his squad. They all crying. We see Loki in his cell. Oh, yo, I got a picture. I got an idea for a picture of Loki in his cell, by the way. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway, right? This reminds me of Jotaro from JoJo. Sitting in the prison cell. That's what this reminds me of. But that's all I'm going to say, right? So Loki, we see him. And it's raining, okay? It's only raining. But he has a hat to protect him from the rain, so we don't see it on his face, okay? If you get what I mean, you get what I mean, okay? It's only the rain. But anyway, 14 years ago, so this is 1 year after that. 1 year after. Wait, hold on. So they went into a flashback of when she died. I guess she must have died the same year. So we started off 15 years ago. Now it's 14 years ago, right? A year later. So they said Shanks gone missing. Shanks is gone missing. Yes. And once his current mission is complete, he was on track to be made a full-fledged knight. Oh, so he escaped knighthood, right? They said, will you take it as his backup? This means that you have a golden opportunity. You're talking to Harold. Okay. He said, of course, I want to join the Knights of God. It means that ELBAPH will be allowed to join the government. Okay. Yo, this dude is big as fuck. Like, hold on, wait. I got a question. Let me just stare at this panel for a second. Do you see Harold in this fucking room? You see Harold in this room, right? Like, I'm sure we've seen this room before, right? Why is this room so big? That's my question. Why is this room so big? This is the same room. We've seen them symbols before on the wall. I remember somebody analyzed these symbols on the wall. He said before these are like demonic like symbols or some shit like that. Not in like real life, but like that's what it's supposed to represent. And it's kind of making sense given the fact that the Gorosei and Emu, they got all these sigils and seals and shit. So that it might be some Emu or Celestial Dragon mark, right? The 3 spikes on it. I think the Celestial Dragon mark actually looks kind of like that anyway. But anyway, let me continue. I digress. He said, yes, I want to join the Knights of God. They said, congratulations. The Great One trusts you. What a long haul it's been. And now you will be known as the king who changed ELBAPH's history forever. He said, actually, on the day that ELBAPH is entered into the world government, I plan to abdicate the throne to someone younger and pure. Deserves to be our new king. And I guess they don't like that. Emu here. Emu's here. He said that is for Mu to decide. Oh. That is for Mu. And y'all never made that video yet either, but like, I think it's all adding up, bro. The way Emu says that is for Mu. Okay, like, Emu really is not this body right here, bro. Emu is not this body that we see. I don't think Emu has a body, okay? But anyway, he said, why is someone sitting on the empty throne? Come closer. I have been watching thee, Harold. Oh. Oh shit, he's screaming the fucking, the castle is like, that can't just be like artistic, right? The castle is like warping and stretching out. What's going on? What the hell? The castle just like expanded, like Luffy is in there doing some gum shit. Castle's bending around. So Emu did some shit to Harold. Let's see. Okay, he has a mark on his arm. Now, mark, transformed. Okay, he has like horns on it now, on the cross. He said, there's strength. It's rippling through me. It's almost frightening. Damn, how tall is this dude though? Like, I actually, you know what? Now that I remember it, I did hear. See, I didn't see this whole scene. I didn't see this scene, but did hear people complaining about Oda's like drawing of scale. I didn't notice they were talking about this chapter. So I guess they were talking about this, like how Harold looks. This room is big as hell. I mean, the room being this big is not unbelievable, you know, but goddamn, like, okay, anyway. So he has his new power, his body's steaming. And he said now he is immortal. It chills the spine. He is more than a monster, he is a weapon. At this point. Okay. And they said, at long last, thou art an undying knight in service to Mu. He said undying, it still doesn't feel real. Thou wilt create an abyss on ELBAPH that will be thy bond. What? Oh yeah, okay. I thought I was reading. That will be thy bond to us. And when thou hast complete thy final duty after that, thy wish will be granted. ELBAPH will be welcome among the world government's member nations. Okay. And he's going back to ELBAPH looking deranged, like he's just staring with a blank stare. I guess he's happy as hell. Oh yeah, and I did hear that they said Oda couldn't finish this chapter. That's why some stuff looks rough. I guess that's what we're seeing right here. We're seeing the sketch. But yeah, he's going back to ELBAPH. He's like, oh yeah, let's have a toast. They all partying. He said, welcome home, King Harold. Big ass party in the castle, in the house, you know. Oh shit, wait, what's going on with this? So he already made a summoning sign. Wow, he already did that shit. I thought we were gonna see him make it. Back at the castle, he said, huh? What did you say? Great Emu? What did you just say? And he heard that shit, but he wanted to make sure he heard it clear. He said, use thy entire country to form an army of warriors. See, this is exactly what he said. Hold on, listen. He said, thou will build a giant fleet to rival the navy and act for the benefit of the world. That is thy. He said, wait, no, stop. I've been doing all of this to help ELBAPH escape the cycle of fighting. Of course, I have always intended to allow those who wish to enlist in the Navy to do so, but not like this. They think he's crazy. They said, who's His Majesty talking to? Like, there's nobody in here. Why is there a dot in the middle of that circle? Is somebody standing there? Like, is Emu standing there now? I don't know. Okay. He said, thou saidest history would be atoned for. Thou said thou wouldst be a slave. Yes, but only myself. History is not so light that it can be shouldered by thee alone. Do not speak back. Thou cannot disobey me. Okay? He's still speaking old, but that shit get me feeling like I can't read. He said, thou canst not disobey me. Those who have accepted death's covenant are given immortality, strength, and must obey orders in return. He said, huh? So he started walking over by himself. He's not controlling his body up. See, Emu, listen, this shit's crazy, right? He said, think what thou wilt. I will have my way. This is basically like when he may reverse 8 rocks, but but Harold here hasn't turned into a demon, okay? And I was looking at that panel before. The panel when we seen him getting killed, I thought he had horns that grew back. I've always said before, like, yo, that could have been his mustache, but his mustache is not big enough to be drawn from that angle on the side, but whatever, that's Oda. But anyway, looks like, yeah, okay. He said, I can't stop, I'm being controlled. And ELBAPH with me. There was never any intent to bring us into the circle of the world. Damn you, Emu. Okay, now he realized, I bet he's thinking of rocks. Last second, bro, he's thinking of rocks. Yo, this is what I was saying. Like, yo, rocks was right, and he's gonna realize it, and it's adding up. This is what's happening, man. I wonder if he's gonna say that. Is he gonna realize in his last moment, like, damn, like if only I just went with rocks, we could have took him down together, and the world would have been peaceful because we would have made the world our world. Like, boom. Anyway, so he's yelling, "Guards to arms!" And he's saying, "Were you planning to make the warriors of ELBAPH your slave?" They said, "What is it, your majesty? Is someone in here?" He said, "Bring chains, tie me to pillar." He's resisting. They said, "Huh? Act quickly. Call Chief Jorul and my sons. I'm pretty sure Arden is out at sea right now. And Prince Loki is still in the cell for that thing he did." He said, "I cannot resist." "What's the matter, your majesty? Just release him." Okay. So yeah. The way he's sitting in the cell, I'm telling you, it's reminding me of Jotaro, bro. It's reminding me of Jotaro from JoJo. He really chilling in the cell like Jotaro. Okay. So we had the underworld holding cells. They said, "You're freed, Loki." He said, "Report to Ara's castle immediately. The king calls for you." Chief Jorul's house. He said, "Urgently. Just a moment ago, what could it have been? What could it be?" They said, "But just now, let us return to the story." Okay. Whoa, the narrator just pulled, that's the narrator. He said, "But now, let us return to the story." What are you talking about? On this day, there was a terrible massacre inside the, okay, so we're going straight into the massacre. So listen, hold on, let me finish reading this first. He said, "On this day, there was a terrible massacre inside the castle. And the most beloved ruler in ELBAPH, in the history of ELBAPH, wise King Harold, perished." Okay, boom. It's over. And we see a lot of screaming, rah, boom, zoom, doom, clap. All right, boom. Everybody's screaming, okay? So listen. While I take these screenshots, because you know what I do every stream, I take screenshots, and then I'm gonna talk about the chapter, and then I'll trim that part of me talking about it out of the stream, and I'll make it a video. So while I'm taking the screenshots, let me say this, right? Let me say a prediction. I think, I said it before too, but I'm kind of saying some of this again. I think, he got possessed, right? I think Harold, obviously he's resisting it, as we've seen. I think he's gonna end up ordering his men to kill him. He's gonna order his men to do it. Or maybe Emu starts possessing his men and have them kill him. I don't know. Because now like my old prediction was like, Harold's gonna get Domi Reverse 8. He's gonna resist the Domi Reverse 8 and kill himself. And while Jorul and Loki's walking in the room, they see all the commotion going on, and they don't know what the hell happened. But now I'm thinking like Emu he could send somebody there, man. Like he could summon somebody. Because remember, somebody else was there. Somebody was there. And then in this one panel, I'm gonna get back to the panel. I saw a speck of, like, it was a dot. It was a dot standing in the middle of that summoning circle. I don't know if that was like Oda, like, he accidentally put his pen on the paper and put a dot in the middle of the circle. But in one panel, there was nobody there. It was just an empty room. And then next is a small dot in the middle of the circle. I don't know if that's a coincidence, man. Well, I got like 5 more screenshots. Hold on. I'm going to talk about this chapter. Okay. Yeah, I think he's going to kill himself. He's going to like either order his men to kill him or kill himself. Okay. They're going to go inside the room. They're going to see all that shit happening. I don't know where the extra person comes into play. Like I said, unless I'm like mistaken about that dot, I feel like somebody's already in the room. They're already in the room, man. Hold on. Couple more screenshots. Hold on. My bad. Man, and Emu, I gotta drop my Emu theory too, because I said it before in another video, and then A couple of days later, I seen the Japanese YouTuber that, you know, everybody knows about, Dawn and Dusk, or what's the other name? Luna Pine Art. I probably said it wrong, but yeah. A couple days later, he dropped a theory about Emu, saying, "Oh, I think Emu is he's just made out of hockey." I was like, "Oh shit, yo, that's what I just said that shit like basically the other day. I said if Emu was not just consciousness itself, like this thing that exists and has no body, that's why he can just like take over other people. If he's not that, then he has to be just pure like energy or some shit. And hockey is energy. The word hockey is like, you know, your willpower and spirit. I feel like Emu was just made out of, like, Emu was just willpower. Like, he's just a will that exists. I had a whole theory. Emu is just some sort of will that exists and has been existing. This thing that has his own will. And that's why he talks in like third person like that, because it's not referring to like the body he's in or himself, but just like the thing that he has become, you know, the will that he's enacting, which is like, you know what I mean? It's like some weird shit. I don't know. It's not like normal humans. It's this thing that created the idea of himself, but you know, there is no self. That is just Mu. And you will like obey Mu. And this is Mu's world, you know. That's how he talks. Hold on. 2 more screenshots. There's a lot of pages in this chapter. Okay. All right. I'm done. Oops. I messed that up. Done. Okay. I messed it up twice. All right. Now I'm done for real. Okay. Let me pull up my screenshots, okay? Listen, at this point on, I'm about to start talking like I'm making a video. You're gonna to see me make a video live, okay? You'll see me making a video live. I'm gonna trim it out. So let me do my thing real quick. I gotta get the screenshots up, all right? And then I'm gonna go full screen. All right, boom. All right, before, I don't even know how to like every time, I don't even know how to start the video. The chapter was crazy as hell, like a lot of shit going on. This is wild though, like he's making that promise, yeah, I can't wait for it, babe. And then, damn, like that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, let me just start talking, okay. I don't know what the hell I'm about to say, but like, I'm gonna trim this out. This is gonna be a video. Let me start the YouTube video part of the stream, okay? Wait, hold on. Let me drink some water. Hold on. See, y'all get to see me make the mistakes, but then when I trim the video out, nobody hears any of this. They'll just see the video, okay? Okay. Listen. So I just got done reading One Piece chapter 1168. And another random cover page. Like, I forgot this dude existed, if I'm being honest. What's his name? Hachin. I forgot about him. Hachan. I forgot about that dude. But anyway, we start up 15 years ago in the same year, you know, the Fisher Tiger, Shanks incident, you know, all that. And we see the reputation of the Giants is already kind of shifting throughout the whole world. Okay, they like getting goods imported from ELBAPH. People like, you know, they're kind of respecting the Giants because, you know, they're working with the Navy, and obviously people of the world see the Navy as a good thing, not only because they're kind of ignorant, they don't know a lot of shit, and the Navy, like, it's not purely evil. They actually do protect people, right? So people respect the Navy. They starting to respect the Giants, okay? This dude, I feel like I've seen him before. I could have swore I did. I don't know. I'll search it up later, but I'm going to keep going, okay? I swore I've seen that dude before. He's pretty ugly, but anyway. we get the Herald in the New World, and he's giving a speech to his people, all the promises he's going to make about all the things they're going to do, how he's going to change the nation and, you know, make ELBAPH rise up in the world. And he wanted to build a cruise ship, like literally a luxury cruise ship for the Giants to go around the world, see other places, and get a taste of other cultures and all that, okay? And we even have some Giants already back then, 15 years ago, like ready to abandon the warrior way. And he's an older Giant too. He's not even a young Giant. So some of the older people was like, yeah, I'm done with that shit. I didn't want to do that anyway. I guess, right? This whole time he didn't want to be a warrior anymore. He was just going with the flow. But they already got the school built, right? Saul and Harold doing their thing. They're talking about how healthy kids are better than like fighting kids, right? But I guess this is where we start going into part of my prediction from last time too, with how Harold is going to start realizing the truth about the world government. But it obviously starts up with the final push to make him stay on this path. I know a lot of people were calling Harold stupid and they call him a fool and all that sort of stuff, right? They said he shouldn't have trusted them. Yeah, Rox told him the first time. What did Rox say? He said they're going to turn you and your people into slaves in the end. Just join me. I've been trying to get Garp to join me too, but he's stubborn, right? Join me. So not only that, but he let Rox die. So that was something that happened, and it kind of made him solidify his path. So what type of person would he be if he kind of backed down from this resolve he already had? He made his mind up. He couldn't just stop, right? Especially after what happens here, you know, with Ida dying, and she died with him making that promise, like, yeah, I'm gonna continue doing this. I'm gonna make sure ELBAPH is a peaceful nation. So she died with that promise. He definitely had to keep going with it, right? He couldn't back down. So we get everybody crying, Harold and Loki, right? He got his hat on, so you know the rain's not hitting his face. You can't see it. But everybody's crying. And Harold, like he said, he resolved himself. He pulled up to Mary Joie, and he finds out that Shanks has left. Okay, I guess Shanks around this time is chilling with Luffy right now. I'm sure he's chilling with Luffy like probably this whole time. This whole time he's probably going back and forth chilling with Luffy, looking at Luffy, you know, looking over him as the pirate, like, you know, the pirate he looks up to. He's chilling with him and teaching him shit. I'm sure this is where he's at now, though, because he already has the scar. He's probably already got his arm bitten off by now. You know, 14 years ago, Luffy was a kid, right? So he finds out Shanks is gone, and Shanks left right before he got fully knighted. So Harold inherits his knighthood, right? Because, like, he's the next best thing they got, right? I guess. Shanks is, like, right next to Harold. So they gave Harold the knighthood instead. And they tell him how Emu trusts him finally, and he's going to meet Emu, okay? And when he goes into the throne room saying, like, you know, when I finally do everything I need to do, I'm going to give the throne to somebody else. And he hears Emu say, no, you're not. That's my decision. And he's confused about somebody sitting on the empty throne. So the empty throne is a thing that the entire world is just knows about. Like, even a giant in ELBAPH who's been, like, Harold started up in the beginning not even knowing about the outside world to any extent. So either he always knew about the empty throne because it's a thing that people who exist just know about, right? For the most part. Or he learned about it at some point over these 25, 30 years or whatever the fuck, however long this flashback's been, right? Other than that, it's like he's had to have known about it. I think he knew about it his whole life, honestly. Especially being from, like, ELBAPH, where they have royalty and all that, and they know about not about the cultures of the world, but they do know the history, like parts of the history, right? They know about Nika and stuff like that. So, but anyway, Emu, and the way Emu talks, it just reminded me of my theory. I'm gonna get into that later, okay? But we see Emu giving Harold the power, and in the castle, I don't know if this was like a artistic choice to show like the castle warping like this, or like is there some gum shit going on? I don't know, but that shit was kind of weird how the castle was bouncing and bending and stretching and shit like this. Or maybe it's not bouncing, but it is bending. You see, this shit is bending. Okay, so that was kind of weird. The castle got kind of fat for a second and just started expanding. But he gets a mark on his arm, or an additional mark added on to the seal he already had, like a pair of horns or like Whitebeard's tusks. I don't know. But he gets a new mark on his arm, and it comes with newfound power and strength that he feels, right? So he gets this feeling of power and strength added in to the mark. And the elders, the 5 elders, the Goro say, they mention how it comes with immortality. Okay, and they say he's more than a monster, he's a weapon at this point. But Emu lets us know a little bit more about the mark later. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But Harold thinks he really had it made now. He thinks he's doing it. He thinks he's moved up in the world, and the promise that Emu made to him is going to finally get fulfilled, right? And that mark is a bond to them. So, but he's getting fooled this whole time. You see how ecstatic he is, right? He's happy. He kind of looks crazy here. And yeah, I found out Oda had a lot of things in this chapter that he didn't really get to finish drawing, right? He had a lot of things he didn't get to finish fully drawn. So, you know, some stuff looks a little sketchy. That's, you know, it's not a big deal, but it is a thing. So Harold's happy as hell. He's going back home, and Emu starts ordering him. Okay, he said, "Bro, what did you say?" He heard him. You know, he heard him the first time. He needed him to say that shit again. He said, "What did you say?" He said, "Use your country, turn them into an army of warriors." He didn't even hesitate. Obviously, this is exactly what Harold has been trying to avoid this whole time. And this shit leads directly into what I was saying earlier too about what Rox has told him. He told him to build a giant fleet to rival the Navy, and they're going to benefit the world. He's in the middle of the throne room yelling in the middle of nowhere. His people think he's going crazy, okay? And he's trying to tell Emu, no, I'm not doing that. I think at this point right now, his body's already moving on its own, kind of. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's just him pleading, because his body does start moving on its own, and he starts walking without, you know, controlling his own body. But yeah, this whole situation goes into what Rox was saying to him. He told him, they're going to turn you and your people into a slave. He didn't want to believe it because of how the Navy is perceived. They don't know about the dark truth that they have, which is Emu, right? They don't know about that. So he thought, no, if I just work with them, it's going to happen. They, you know, it's the Navy. They have connections all over the world. Like, I could be a part of that. Rox knew the deeper truth. He didn't tell him. Maybe Rox should have told him what was really going on, and Harold would have listened to him. But he didn't know. So he thought that there's some way if he just worked with these people, it would happen the way he thought it would happen, but it didn't. Emu hit him with the Rinnegan. Okay. And Emu sounds like a little kid that's angry. I've heard that the way Emu speaks in Japanese gives off the tone of somebody who's like immature or childish sometimes. So the way Emu is like angrily yelling about not getting what they want or what she wants, I don't know what the fuck Emu is, right? But Emu is not getting what Emu wants. So they're yelling like, oh, you said you would atone for this. You said you would be a slave. Okay. And he's mad and he starts taking his body over. So, and obviously, yeah, the way Emu talks, I'm gonna just say it again here, right? Because I had a whole theory about Emu, but then, you know, I was gonna make the video. I saw the Dawn and Dust drop a theory. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of like my theory. So I never made it yet. I'm still gonna make it. But he said that he thinks Emu is basically like an embodiment of hockey. Emu's made out of hockey. I've had a similar theory. I think Emu doesn't have a body. Emu is just this thing, this consciousness that exists. I don't think he has a physical form. That's why it's always referring to Mu the way it does. You know, the idea of itself. You know, that's what I think is going on. So he's possessing Harold, and Harold can't do anything. He starts to order his men to stop him. He tells them, chain me to the pillar, like, stop me from doing anything. Like, go get the chains, call both of my sons. And they said, wait, Loki's in prison. I don't care, get him out. Call him here right now. And they go to get Loki, who's sitting up in the cell like Jotaro Kujo, and he's chilling. And we immediately are about to go straight, as the narrator says, we're about to return to the story, okay? We're about to see how Harold exactly dies. And I think we all kind of knew he was going to get possessed, okay, in some way, shape, or form. But he didn't even get Dome Reverse. That was the most popular theory. He didn't even get Dome Reverse, at least not yet. Right now, he's just being controlled, okay? And he got betrayed because Emu didn't even hesitate to say, well, now that you're here, like, I feel like Emu could have just put that mark on him in the beginning, right? And started possessing him and controlling him. As soon as Harold said, okay, I'll be a slave, why did he make him go through all of these years of like trials? Is it like, does his mind have to be submitted to? You know what I mean? I think that's what it has to be. I think his mind has to be actually submitted. Like, Emu can't just take you over that instantly unless you feel like you're submissive, or you know, unless you feel like you're inferior to him, or you submit to Emu in some sort of way, right? I feel like that's the only way he can really take you over. Because why else would he take him throughout this whole circle of proving himself and, you know, actually mentally aligning with the government? He's doing things that he doesn't want to do, but he's doing it for the Navy, and then, you know, all the other shit, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I think this flashback is going to be a little different. Oh yeah, I forgot about one thing, right? So now this panel right here, right? Boom. You see the whatever it's called, the tetragram, or I forget, right? You see the symbol, right? There's nobody in the middle of the symbol, okay? And the next panel, wait for it. Let me zoom out, wait for it. Hold on, boom. You see that? You see there's a dot. Who the fuck is that? That's what I want to know. Who is that? Did they summon somebody in the room without any of them noticing because they're giants? And he's talking to Emu. They saying like, yo, who is he talking to in here? Oh, no, they're saying in there. So they're outside the door anyway, right? They're outside the door and they hear him inside the room yelling. Who is this? Or what is that? Is that Oda letting his pen slip on the paper? I don't think so. Did some ink drip? I don't think the ink dripped. No. I don't think I'm seeing things either. I think we all see it. So like, who or what is that? Because I think somebody is in the room already, and that's going to add into what's happening later, because they said, or Loki said, somebody else was there that day. I think that's who they are. I mean, this is that somebody, okay? I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. But we're going to find out. So I guess that's the end of the video. But the live stream, okay, I'm back. Listen, I'm gonna chop that out. That's the video that's going up on YouTube after the stream is over. Okay. Jeremy Jensen, yeah, I see your comment. Hold on, let me read this comment. He said that history was also compromised. Oh no, Clover's book reached the lines. I mean, yeah, sun god, like the whole sun god, somebody's like, he's a god, right? So yeah, gods have religions around them. So there is definitely some sort of religious belief that goes with the sun god, I feel like. Even if it's not done in a religious sense, people definitely treat him like a god, and they, like, I think that's Oda's twist, right? I think you're not wrong, but it might not be in the same sense as, you know, the religions that we know. I think he's putting a twist on it. It's not so much as religion, but I don't know. They still do have a faith in the sun god, and people, they're not praying to him, but technically they are, right? When they're sitting around and hoping that he comes to save them, and you know, they're sitting around calling his name in their head. And, you know, that's kind of like they're praying to him, but it's not, like I said, it's not like exactly praying. So I think that is there. That shit is there 100%. Yeah. 100%. The sun god is like their religion. Nika is their god. That's why the people in his image But it's like Jesus came back, you know. That's why Joy Boy in the, you know, the second coming of Joy Boy is Luffy, you know. They've been waiting for another Joy Boy, because Joy Boy, they know that he's in the image of the Sun God. Well, it's not that they've been waiting for a Joy Boy exactly, because ELBAPH called Luffy Nika when they saw him, but you know, other people have been waiting for a Joy Boy, you know. So that is the thing, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. This chapter was crazy though, man. Like, it was a lot of shit going on. A lot of shit going on. Loki really chilling like Jotaro Kujo. Hold on, let me look up a picture of Jotaro. Let me let me see. Hold on. Let me find this picture, dog. Let me find this picture. Yo, I can't find the picture. Hold on. Give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. Jotaro Kujo in prison. Hold on. Oh, I think I found it, man. I found it. I mean, it's a couple pictures, actually. I see like 4 different poses now. Like, let's. See that? That's what Loki's looking like. It's a bad quality picture, but he chilling like Jotaro. Maybe I could find a better picture. Maybe, I don't know. There's no point. It's okay. Oh, here we go. Another bad quality picture. Yeah, that's Loki, man. That's Loki. Yeah, that's Loki for real. But I don't know. I might just, you know, I might head out of here though. Like, I already got my video. I read the chapter. Ain't nothing else to really do on the stream right now. But yeah, man, that was a good chapter. Hey, listen, you're still around? Hit that button, man. Hit that button if you need to. I don't know. You get it if you want. You don't have to. You know which button I'm talking about, so it's okay. But hit that button. I'm going to stream One Piece every time a chapter comes out. It's not going to be at the same time. It might be at 11 on the dot when the chapter airs in the, you know, earlier. It might be late this time. It's never going to be later than this. No. Yeah, like I said, I'm out. I'm going to trim that video out, upload it.